Hello everyone! Today I'll be teaching you how to UV unwrap anything, plus everything you need to know about UV unwrapping. This video is going to cover 1. What is UV unwrapping? 2. How to unwrap step by step. 3. Difference between unwrapping, angle-based conformal and minimal stretch. 4. What is a checkered map, plus how to use it. 5. When to straighten your UVs. 6. UV layout. Part 1. What is UV unwrapping, plus how to unwrap? UV unwrapping is the process of turning a 3D object into a flat 2D sheet, which you can then texture on. How to unwrap. Unwrapping. Step 1. Before unwrapping, make sure to apply transforms/scale. This prevents distortion later on when unwrapping and ensures a cleaner, more accurate UV. Ctrl+A, then apply all transforms. Difference before versus after applying transforms. Not applying transforms/scale can lead to this error message. Unwrapping. Step 2. Seams. Seams are the most important part of UV unwrapping. They tell Blender where to cut the model before flattening it into the UV map. Why do seams matter? Good seam placement reduces distortion and stretching, gives control over how the model unwraps, helps create cleaner UV layouts. Things to keep in mind. Not every model is unwrapped the same way. Try different unwrapping methods depending on your model. UVs and seams can depend on your workflow. Example, Substance Painter or hand painting in Ibis Paint. UVs are trial and error. Don't be afraid to retry till you get it right. Where to mark seams? Hard surfaces/sharp edges, areas where you want separate shading/texture, areas where the seams won't show. Down the middle of the model. Real seam placement examples. Sharp edges example. Unwrapped. Hard edges plus hidden seams example. This creates a seamless look. Middle of the model example. Since it's mirrored, stacking the UVs make it easier when texturing. This makes the texture perfectly mirrored/symmetrical. Areas of different shading/texture. Unwrapping. Step 3. Unwrapping methods. There are a couple unwrapping methods, but the ones we'll be focusing on are 1. Unwrap angle-based, 2. Unwrap conformal, 3. Unwrap minimal stretch. Angle-based, used for curved models and smooth shapes. Conformal, used for models with hard edges/flat surfaces. Minimal stretch, minimizes UV distortion. When unwrapping, it's best to try all 3 methods and choose the one that works best for your model. Part 2. Checkered maps. What are checkered maps? Checkered maps are texture sheets of evenly sized squares used to check UV distortion, stretching, and overall UV accuracy. How to apply checkered maps? Go to UV editing, create a new image and change generated type to UV grid. Go to material. Click new. Go to base color and click the yellow dot, then image texture. Click on the picture icon and select the UV grid we just made. Go to viewport and change object color to texture. All done. How to know if your UVs are disordered. Good UVs will display the checker map squares evenly across the model. Bad UVs will show distortion in the texture, with squares appearing stretched, warped, or uneven. Example. Part 3. Straightening UVs. What does straightening UVs do? It adjusts UV islands to align them more horizontally and vertically, resulting in a cleaner and more organized UV layout. It also helps maintain straight lines in textures, preventing them from appearing skewed or uneven. Difference before and after straightening the UV. While straightening UVs often helps keep the layout neat and organized, there are cases where it can introduce some stretching in the UVs, especially when applied to models with irregular or curved shapes. When should you straighten your UVs? Whether or not you should straighten your UVs depends on your model. Try both and compare the results. If straightening causes noticeable stretching or distortion, it's usually best to keep the original UV shape. Use whichever option gives the cleanest result with the least amount of distortion. The easiest way to straighten UVs is the Mio 3 add-on, link in description. Part 4. UV Layout. UV layout is how the UV islands are placed and organized within the UV sheet to maximize the use of texture space. There are a few rules we can follow to create neat and high-quality UV layouts. Rule 1. Prioritizing UV space. The bigger a UV island is, the more texture detail it can hold. This is why we prioritize main parts of the model or areas that need more detail by giving them more UV space than less noticeable areas. Small UVs can make the texture look blurry/pixelated. Rule 2. Keep space between UV islands. Leave some space between UV islands to prevent texture bleeding. Avoid spacing UV islands too far apart, as it wastes UV space and reduces texture detail. Example. Rule 3. Stay inside the UV grid. Keep all UV islands inside the UV grid so they appear correctly on the texture. Leave a small gap from the edges to avoid issues like texture bleeding. Example. Rule 4. Avoid unnecessary overlap. UV islands shouldn't overlap unless they're identical or mirrored parts using the same texture. Example. That's it. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to comment.